Hey, everybody. If we could start to get toward the seats, I've been told we are under some pretty tight time rules tonight. I won't blame Lauren, but it's totally her fault. So if we could just kind of make our way out here, we'd love to try to stay on time as best we can today. Thank you. I'm really sorry, but the bar is closed. No. I'm just kidding. I just want to make sure we can move things along here, okay?
Hey everyone. Thank you so much for making your way out tonight. I so appreciate it. The longest day of the year. Perfect time to have you guys inside. We are about to start. Tom? Yes. My wingman here. Yeah. What do you think? Let's do this. Gonna get going? How's our live stream, fans? You good over there? Sounds like we're ready to go.
All right, let's do this thing.
All right.
Hello. I love audience participation. For those that don't know who I am, I'm Tom Messner. I was a weather guy here for 31 years. And you might be thinking to yourself, why is a weather guy standing there? Which I think would be a valid question. My deal is that I actually went to school for business, got a degree in economics, and then took a right turn and kept going and got into media, and that's a whole nother story. But I've certainly had the business bug for a long time. Way back when, we owned a radio station in Middlebury, so I realize that's not exactly the digital age, but we got our feet wet pretty nicely there, and we did have a decent sale on that. And since then, for the last 5 years or so, I've been doing some investing. So I have investments, I just kind of counted them up today. We've invested, my wife and I, in 26 companies, 9 of which are local companies here in Vermont. So yeah, pretty psyched about that. So needless to say, we're pretty excited about what's going on in this community. And when you talk about Hula, when you talk about the vibe that's happening right now, it's completely different than it was even 5 years ago. So thanks so much for coming out. I'm just really, really happy to be a part of this. This, of course, a celebration of entrepreneurship. You're going to see some really, really good companies tonight. And it's interesting because Lauren let me hang around quite a bit during the cohort, probably more than she wanted, but I really wanted to see how the whole process worked, and I was there for the early pitches, and compared to what you're going to see tonight, what a difference. They have learned really, really well. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, speaking of Lauren, she tells me, Lauren Bass, she's a recovering entrepreneur. I'm not sure how the...
I'm right here.
How do you think the cohort's going to feel about that?
I think they've heard me enough times.
Yeah, they probably had. It should. Anyway, of course, now she's the director of Launch VT. Lauren.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Whoop. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Like I said, this is very special. So thrilled that you are here. As Tom rightly pointed out, I have done this entrepreneurship gig myself. We have incredible teams tonight, so resilient, which is a big part and parcel of what it takes to be a great entrepreneur. This year has been particularly special for entrepreneurship here in Vermont. We've had more companies registered than ever before, and it's shaken out for our cohort. As a matter of fact, this year Launch VT had the most applications ever, twice over. So the folks you're about to see tonight definitely had some hoops to jump through to get here to the evening. So let's talk a little bit about who these folks are. They are incredibly special and near and dear to my heart. Many of them already have gone to market with their products. I hope this evening you will visit the demos that are over there so you can see all the amazing things that we have in store for you. And also, too, we have an additional demo to check out outside. It is a toilet, and I highly recommend that you check it out. So, with that, without further ado, I am going to introduce Russ Scully to come up and say hello, and I would also just like to thank him and the team at Hula, in particular, Russ, Rob, Tim, CP, Chloe, Marina, Alex, Singer, Abba, and Hannah. Truly, without all of you, we would not be here tonight. So thank you. Russ, please say hello.
Thank you, Lauren.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Tom. Great to see you here. Hey, I just want to say welcome to Hula, and thank you for recognizing the team effort that went into putting on not only this project, but even tonight. The reason we built this event space is honestly to host things like this. This is really heartwarming to see Launch VT here for the second year in a row, and we couldn't be happier with the idea of hosting an event like this. I just want to say congratulations to the 7 entrepreneurs who are presenting tonight, and a big thank you to the judges who are all here to weigh in on their thoughts, and to all of you for coming and being a part of this and participating. This is a big deal for us. This is a huge part of our startup ecosystem, and I can't say enough good things about Launch VT, Lauren, Tom, the whole crew for making this happen, putting this on, and making this opportunity available for all these entrepreneurs. So we're excited to see it all happen. Thanks for being here, and good luck to everybody tonight.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you. And we have another special guest speaker here tonight. Nick Grimley is with the Vermont Department of Economic Development, but he also has a very special relationship to LaunchVT. He was one of the founders of this program, so it's really special to welcome Nick back to LaunchVT's demo night.
Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, it's super exciting to be here tonight. I think this is the 10th cohort. The 10th cohort. So it was 11 years ago that I came up with the idea for LaunchVT. And one of the impetuses behind it was the fact that I saw a lot of the people that I grew up with left Vermont to seek opportunity. And I thought, well, if we're going to have opportunity for young people in this state, we need more startups. We need more high growth businesses. And I approached the chamber, and they supported the idea along with other members of the community. And it's amazing to see 10 years later what this has grown into, and the ecosystem that has popped up around here. I'd like to say from my role now at the state, we've been supporting LaunchVT for 10 years now, and we are excited and impassioned by what we see come out of this event every year. It is really the fuel that ignites the rest of the ecosystem around here. So, Lauren, thank you for taking the helm, and great to see what comes out of the pitches tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you so much. And again, honestly, without Nick and the state, the Vermont Department of Economic Development, who is a very special supporter, thank you for making this possible. I appreciate it. Next stakeholder who's also very important to LaunchVT and has been an outstanding sponsor, I would like to introduce Michelle Buswell and Matt Platz from People's United, a division of M&T Bank. Come right up and say hello.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. So I'm Michelle Buswell. I'm a senior wealth advisor at People's United Advisors, which will be Wilmington Trust come next month on the 1st. And I have with me today Matt Platz, a senior vice president of commercial banking. We have been a proud sponsor of LaunchVT since its inception and are committed to the entrepreneurs of our community. We couldn't be more thrilled to be here tonight.
Yeah, thank you. This is really one of the funner nights in Burlington. Thank you to Russ and the Hula team. Couldn't ask for a better venue than this. M&T Bank remains committed to the communities that it serves, just like People's United Bank, so we're super excited to be joining forces with them. They are from Buffalo, Bills fans. We won't hold that against them, but we hear they're good people. But thank you for coming out, and thank you for Lauren and all the mentors and sponsors that make this night possible. And to the cohorts, take a deep breath. All the hard work is done, so just have some fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Michelle and Matt. All right, I'm going to hand this over to my buddy Tom Messner so you don't have to hear my voice all night. The big question is, are you able to forecast who the winners are going to be this evening? See what I did there? Why don't you tell us about the awards, Tom?
I quit that job.
But you were so good at it.
Well, you know.
You were supposed to tell me it was going to be a rainy day. I mean,
It's summertime. Doesn't rain in the summer here. Yeah. Now I feel kind of bad. You know, I grew up in Buffalo country, Buffalo Bills in Rochester, but, you know, I've changed my ways, just so y'all know. All righty. Let's talk about how this is going to work tonight. We've got 2 awards that will be going to companies tonight. We have an Audience Choice Award. Here's how that works. So we need y'all to listen carefully because we need your input. What's going to happen is we're going to go through the 7 pitches, and then we're going to ask you to go over to the Dominion voting. No, I'm sorry. The voting booth that's just down past the bar. So you'll probably be there anyway. And you're going to be given a token, and just put the token in the slot for the company that you would like to choose. The winner of the Audience Choice Award will win $5,000. And we also have the Chamber Award, which is going to be, it's going to be judged by our judges today. That is worth $15,000. So we've got quite a bit at stake tonight. You guys ready for that? All right, good stuff. All right, let's meet the judges before we get going here. Bridget Croak. Bridget, do you mind standing up real quick? Say hi to everybody. Managing Director and member of the founding team of Closed Loop Partners, a leading New York-based investment and innovation firm focused on the circular economy. Bridget has 20 years of experience building movements to promote a more sustainable economy with an emphasis to promote quality of life and less consumption. Thanks very much for being here. All right, our next judge, John Howard. Hello, John. He's a serial entrepreneur, advisor, and angel investor who most recently founded and led MIT Horizon, a SaaS learning platform for advanced technologies such as AI. Thanks very much. And Matt Upton is here. Growth investor and former tech banker. Matt has 20 years experience working globally with clients in tech and also software, and has advised clients on over $100 billion of transactions. Wow. Most recently, Matt served as managing director and head of the enterprise software group at Deutsche Bank. Thank you all for coming. We really do appreciate it. Did everybody have a chance to get a little bit of food? Just want to say a quick thanks to Great Northern providing the food and ice cream from Sisters of Anarchy. That is awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. All right, couple of thoughts here. Give you some ground rules. Number one, time is going to be essential tonight, which is to say, the cohort knows, all the companies know that they're going to be getting some signals, how much time they have left. When their time is up, we're cutting them off. So we won't keep you too late, we promise. So it goes like this. There are going to be 7-minute speeches or pitches, as the case may be. Each of them goes 7 minutes, and then we're going to have 3 minutes with the judges who can ask them some questions. So we are going to be pretty tight on time, but we're going to be, we're going to try to keep the time going well. So we've got the 7 of them, roughly 10 minutes apiece when you add it all up, add a few minutes here and there, and it's a little over an hour. All right? You guys ready to go? All right. Are we ready to go up here? Okay. Yeah, we'll get this right out of the way. Kid, are you ready to go? All righty. Our first company tonight, it's Slogan. Welcome, Kidder Spader.
Hello, everyone. Let me find my presentation here. Yep, that's the second page. There we go. All right, I am up. Hello, my name is Kidder Spader, and I'm the owner and founder of Slogan Gear Company. Slogan is a rack company, and so we basically are focused on vehicle racks. I'll start off with a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name is Kidder Spader. I'm the owner. I'm a serial entrepreneur with 20 years of experience. Most recently, I owned a pet products company called Kurgo Gear, and we were doing about $25 million in revenue when we sold that company in 2019 at a 10-time multiple. So this is fun. And when I sold that company, I had a non-compete in the pet industry. So what do you do when you have a non-compete in the pet industry? You go into racks. And so here we are with the rack system. So what we've really discovered is that most of the racks are bulky, difficult to use, and have single use. So what we've really focused on is simplifying the use of the racks, making them lighter, and creating a module system. So we've essentially stripped out the weight, made it easier to use, and then made a rack that has multiple uses. And one of the other great features is it becomes DIY. So it's an opportunity for users to formulate a rack for what they really need, essentially empowering people to get out more often. What we have in the market right now is what you're seeing here. So we start with a base deck, which is the foundation for all the products. And currently we have a bike rack, a ski rack, recovery board rack, a cooler rack, and then a tie down. And a lot of them integrate with each other. So if you take the recovery boards, they also mount underneath the ski rack and under the cooler. So if you're stuck on the beach or in the snow, it gives you another opportunity. What we've also been finding is the base deck is a foundation that our customers are buying, and then they're creating their own rack system. So we've seen people create different cooler systems, racks for coolers, generators across the board, which is great for us because it gives us an opportunity to really touch the consumer, get a better understanding of what they need, and then build from there. So we're really looking at product development from the bottom up, where it's consumer driven. Right now, I'm just going to walk through the products super quickly, just give you a bigger visual. Like I said, these are all in the market right now, a little lifestyleage. And what we have is our scalable plan. So we're looking at hitches and racks right now, but our focus is really creating end-to-end solutions for consumers. So it's everything from the house to where your final adventure is. So we're starting with racks, then we have luggage that goes on the racks, and then we'll have last mile products. Overall, the rack market is a $4 billion market. Slogan is looking to take a $30 million share of that. Phase 2, which is the luggage and last mile products, that is a $37 billion market, and we're looking to get $40 million out of that. So overall, Slogan is looking at a $70 million opportunity. When you look at the breakdown, we're really focused on the automotive, hardware, outdoor stores, and so that's our distribution. When you look at the blended margin, and that's direct to consumer and retail, we're at about 70 points. So it's a robust business. When we start looking at the revenue breakdown, you can see kind of the projections right now. It's not huge, $10,000, but we only started in April. So we are getting some traction. We're looking at about $400,000 by the end of next year. And then over a 10-year period, we're really focused on that $70 million, starting with racks, which is the foundation and is the foundation for the company, then the last mile products, and then luggage. And the luggage concept is creating luggage that's strong enough for your vehicle. Therefore, it's a really diesel strong effort. Yep, we have competition. It's unfortunate, but we all have it. It's a proof of concept sometimes. Where we're really focused is top of the middle. So we aren't a luxury brand, but what we really do is add a lot of value. The quality is there. We have a lifetime warranty, and there are a lot of features and benefits that can really add to the products. So once again, what our value proposition is, where we're going to enter this market, and we look at it as a wedge system. We want to break in. We aren't going to take over the whole thing, but nibble into that and then expand outward. So our product is lighter, simpler, and it's a modular system. And what we've done is really focused on customer for life. So some of the properties there, we have the DIY program for the base deck, so we get the consumer feedback. But we also have a version number. So you can trade in version number 1 for version number 20. And that's part of our design evolution, knowing that products always improve and we want to retain that customer. What we do with the products when they return them, if it's viable, we'll sandblast it, repowder coat it, add new hardware, and then resell the product again at a reduced rate. And then we're really driven by consumer design. So what we're looking at is, once again, the base deck. What we have done is uploaded all the CAD drawings, so it gives the consumer an opportunity to use those drawings to build their own product. And the base deck has all the mounting brackets, everything else. So what we're trying to do, rather than hide ourselves from the consumer and what we're doing, we're opening it up to the consumer. And we're saying, you guys can be part of this. You can do it. Not only is it an opportunity for us to bring people in, but it's just a way to reduce waste and build off of it. And that's, once again, what we call the evolutionary design process. Once again, backed with a lifetime warranty. I'm going to skip through the timeline. We started about a year ago. Shipping has been very slow, but we got product in the warehouse in March of this year, and we've been selling. That's where that $10,000 comes in. We did our first consumer trade show about a month, well, no, it was a week ago, so we did Outdoor Retailer last week, and the results were phenomenal. What we had was first meetings with these clients, and then we have second meetings set up next week. So inventory may be the biggest issue that we're looking at. Why Vermont? It's a great place. It's innovative, active, it's everything that Slogan's looking for. Sorry, dry mouth. What we'll be doing here is small batch manufacturing, and Tom's telling me to get off, so here's my last slide. That's it.
You're done. Well done. Nice job, Kidder. Really nice job.
Now
All
the
right,
hard
judges,
part.
going to leave it to you guys to fire off some questions. You've got 3 minutes.
So quick question. I'd love to understand from your experience in your previous company, like the confidence that you have in your sales strategy, just a little bit more about your sales strategy and kind of what gives you confidence based on your experience. And then my Gen Z assistant son over here is curious about if you have, if you could create space that, issues in the back when you have that on, if you can still use the back seat.
Yep. So yeah, the product company that I did, it was outdoor products for pets. And so we had, and it was highly branded. So we focused really on outdoor retailers and then Petco, PetSmart, Orvis, LL Beans, Costco, companies like that. What we did avoid and what we're avoiding here in Slogan is the Walmarts and the Targets, because we want to make sure the brand itself remains high. And then as we continue to build through there, what we found is if you wedge into those retailers with a novel product, then you have that connection with the buyer, and then you slowly build it up from there and there. To your son's question, yes. So for most of the products, you look at the cooler kit, the bike kit, and most of them, yeah, you can still access the trailer or the hitch of the car, and that's part of the value proposition. Thank you.
Quick question for you. I saw your product in the parking lot. It looked great.
Nice. Good placement.
Looking ahead, maybe 2 to 3 years, what do you think will be the biggest challenges as you try to hit that growth curve?
Largest challenges, I mean, there's always direct to consumer. So when we start looking at Amazon competition, we do have a couple patents, but there's always that opportunity for direct factory to come in and take part of that share. And that's where we really see brand is valuable. It's a lifestyle brand, and that becomes the breaking part. And it's really about, it's on the exterior of your car, it represents who you are, what you want to do. So that's where a lot of the capital will come to, is kind of creating that marketing opportunity.
If your approach is ultimately successful in terms of the modular rack system, what barriers do you have to prevent others in the market from copying some of your designs if they're successful?
I mean, it will inevitably happen. People will, and imitation does happen. Part of our evolutionary design process is where we see ourselves very different. You look at Thule, and Thule's 50% of the market share, and it's a $3 billion market. So for them, it becomes very difficult, in knowing I've worked for larger companies, to get that feedback, enter it back into the company, and you have to build that from the beginning of a company and really create that as part of the DNA so people buy into that. So that's the biggest opportunity. IP is expensive, so I'll mostly say off a brand, design philosophy, and product itself.
Done. Well done.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, thanks.
Now, look, I realize that I look like the bad guy because I just like walk in and say, get out of there. But I was just told to do that, so. All right. Yeah, I know you will. So let me give that. Yep, okay. All right, everybody, here comes company number 2. This is a company called TalkGo. Please welcome Chandler Murch.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chandler Murch, and I'm the CEO of TalkGo, and we're making voice technology more accessible everywhere you go. So voice technology is one of the fastest growing consumer techs of all time. People are buying hundreds of, if not thousands of dollars worth of smart speakers and smart home devices. Who here has an Echo speaker in your home? Raise your hand. Okay, a few. And how many times have you used Alexa outside of the home? Exactly. Most people don't, because it sucks to use. You've got to take out your phone, you've got to unlock it, find the Alexa app, press the button, and then start talking. It's not a voice-first experience, so people don't do it. Alexa, why can't you answer when my phone is locked?
Your phone is only listening for Siri or Google Assistant. This is why you need a talk socket.
So that's why we're building the Talk Socket. So our first product, it is a mobile accessory that can allow you to use Alexa hands-free on any device. But Amazon isn't the only company with this problem. There's a whole host of other voice assistants out there that are being added all the time, and they have the same issue. We are launching this product this year, but over time we want to launch new products that turn us into a global voice technology platform. So this type of form factor, but going into other devices, such as like you've got a motorcycle helmet with an audio system, we want to be the multi-wake word solution for that device. The way that it works is very simple. As you see, you speak the wake word, it hears your request, it passes it over Bluetooth to the app on your phone, and then you hear the response from your phone's audio speaker or whatever it's connected to. So your earbuds, your car audio system, Bluetooth speaker, that's where you hear your Alexa. We can ask the question, what about Siri and Google Assistant? Aren't those always listening? That's true, they are on your device. But again, people are building their smart homes around Alexa. There's a lot of pain to leave that system, so you want to stick with what you know and what you're using every day. Also, Siri and Google Assistant, they can't handle every request unless an app integration was built with them. Oh, excuse me. And additionally, they don't always speak the results, right? You get here's something I found on the web, and then there's some display on the screen. That's not a voice-first experience like what Amazon and other companies are building. The device itself, again, works when your phone is locked. It works hands-free. It's got a great battery life, lasts over a day of use. We don't capture any of that data. It passes straight through the microphone to the Amazon on the other end. So if you trust them already with the Echo speaker at home, you trust them with the Talk Socket. And it's also removable. So if you look closely, I know it's hard, it's small, but we have this accordion and this quick release bass that we license. Okay, we license that from the company Pop Sockets. So Pop Sockets, if you're not familiar, they've sold over 220 million pop grips on the backs of phones. So we're licensing this IP with them. We're also partnered with the company OtterBox, so one of the most popular case makers in the world. They're a strategic investor in our company. We have an agreement with them and our contract manufacturer that's essentially a line of credit up to $1 million. And additionally, both of these companies are able to give us access to all of their sales channels. So Target, Best Buy, the carriers, T-Mobile, AT&T, and so on. We don't have to build up a sales team. We can work through them. So again, it's a platform. So we start with Amazon Alexa, and you're on your way home and you want to throw in a pizza. You can say, Alexa, preheat the oven to 425. The Talk Socket can do that. We add additional voice assistants over time, so Google Assistant and up-and-coming ones. And then we get started into brand applications. So Hey Dunkin', order an iced latte. We're able to connect a piece of that revenue from the purchase because we know where the voice activation came from. And the same thing goes for enterprise apps. Hey, Salesforce, what are my top 5 prospects awaiting a response right now? We can collect a platform fee from Salesforce for activating more of their customers. And then additionally, you got the voice assistants on an international scale. So same problem, but in a different language. We're able to enable those all hands-free. And this is how we become a global voice company. So the global market for smart wireless accessories is going to reach $75 billion by 2025. We hope to capture about 7.7% of the sales in that time, the unit sales in that time. And that's from a bottom up. So the Echo Auto from Amazon had 1 million pre-orders before they even released a picture of it. So people want to use Amazon on the go. I mean, there's over 100 million Alexa customers to date, if you can believe it. And more than half of them are using Alexa daily. Additionally, we ran a Kickstarter where we have over 1,100 units pre-ordered by more than 800 people. This is everyone from the tech adopter to the grandmother who tells us that she has 2 blind grandchildren that want to take the Alexa everywhere they go, but on a phone they can't see what they're doing. So the Talk Socket enables it to be hands-free and voice activated. We also did a nationwide survey with our partners at OtterBox, and we found that 40% of smart speaker owners were interested in buying a Talk Socket at $129. So you can see how we stack up from a price point with the competition, but it's important to keep in mind we are hands-free. A lot of competition is push to talk. We are bringing Alexa to customers as well as additional voice assistants. It's not a single voice assistant on the device. And we also stay ahead of the competition through the 2 patents that we have pending with the USPTO as well as internationally with the PCT. We do over-the-air updates from a companion app, so that's how we add additional features to the device. We improve its lifetime value. And we've also got a bunch of certifications. So Apple MFI, Amazon Alexa audio certification, Qi wireless power, it charges wirelessly, I don't think I said that, and as well as it's IP67 rated. So if it accidentally falls in the pool, TalkSocket's going to be fine. So we're raising $1.4 million in our seed round. We have about $800,000 in commitments. We raised $715 in the pre-seed. This is outdated because just yesterday we added another $100,000 investment from CEO of Native Voice, so big proponent of the voice technology space. Bunch of great investors. We got a great team. So myself, I moved here to Vermont from Seattle. Amy Bose from Nordstrom managed over $100 million in the private labels. Mike Soderholm, former VP of marketing at Otterbox. Over the next 5 years, we're looking to add 39 positions in Vermont around myself, and we're looking to pay them at an average salary of $86,000. So those are financial projections we made back in Seattle that we're bringing here to Vermont. So thank you for your time. Oh, one more thing. If you know any firmware engineers, I'd love to talk to them because we are hiring. That's the first thing I need to hire as we raise our money. So thank you.
Nice at the end. You know why I quit my last job? Alexa, what's the weather? Judges, you ready to go? 3 minutes.
Okay, great question for you. Yeah. Do you have any prototypes in the wild, and what's the usage been like from people?
Yeah, we do. All of our team has them, and our partners have them. They're using them right now for the same things that they would do already, so playing music, timers, general knowledge questions, as well as activating their smart home. But they're finding new things all the time, like, hey, Headspace, start my guided meditation when they're at the park, which makes a lot more sense than when you are sitting in your home, right? So lots of cool stuff.
Going forward, how do you see the balance of revenue between hardware sales, software, and potentially ad or search driven?
Yeah, so initially for the next few years, I think it's going to be dominated by the hardware. We need to sort of get this out into the market, get it onto the back of people's phones, and then we're going to be growing software all the time. So that investor that I mentioned, Native Voice, is building a software layer today and already connecting with some of those brands like Dunkin' and iHeartRadio. So once we're out in the market with Alexa, we can work on integrating their multi-wake word solution too, and then start capturing that revenue share.
Are you having any direct conversations with Amazon, or what do you expect to be your relationship with them? And then also just curious, like how it impacts the storage on the phone, or any other kind of risks in terms of your phone usage and battery life.
Yeah, so I'll answer that one first. It actually improves your battery life. Because you're not, if you're only going to be using Alexa, you can turn Siri off, and that saves on the always listening from Siri. As far as Amazon, I should talk about that more. So many good things to say. Amazon is a huge fan of what we're doing. Yeah, so we're bringing people to the Alexa platform, and that's more important than the specific hardware behind it to them. On my little setup over there, there's actually a video that Amazon filmed at our new hometown in Northfield. So they flew up a whole crew to film a piece about TalkGo in Northfield. So,
would you be interested in investment from them, or have you talked to them about that? You can say, you can't tell me.
Yeah, no. We have spoken with them. They're a follower, not a leader, and yeah, so we do kind of expect as the round starts to close that they'll come in.
Are you worried about them copying this and making their own?
No, I'm not, because what we have seen is that one, that they've been kind of getting into trouble with that, and so they've been moving the two pieces, their internal development of products and the third parties, farther apart, putting space between. But additionally, again, it's not just about Alexa. It's about being able to support a variety of assistants. And Amazon and Apple and Google, they only care about themselves, right? They're working on their own assistants, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right, Chandler, nice job. Excellent. You know, he mentioned this, and this is something that you may want to think about. After the pitches, you can go over and talk to these guys because they have setups over there. They all do, so you can get some more information. If you'd like to do that, that's coming up in just a little bit. Okay, let's move on. Our next company, this is Bivo, and here comes Karina Hamill.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi, my name is Karina Hamill. I'm a co-founder of Bivo. We're a performance product company, and our first offering is a sophisticated metal water bottle designed for cyclists. We launched in late 2020, and we've bootstrapped since the beginning. We're currently at a $1 million run rate, and we're expecting to be cash positive by Q1 of 2024. We're currently in a friends and family round that's going to help us get there. So a lot of people ask us, why another water bottle? And simply put, we found a hole in the market. The cycling industry is dominated by plastic, and they're often looked at as disposable, and they taste bad. So we've created a better bottle, one that has a high flow rate and is super easy to clean. We also have high margins, so it's a good business opportunity. From the beginning, we knew that we had to focus on the performance of the water bottle. If it didn't match the performance of plastic, it wasn't going to be adopted by our consumer. So we created a gravity flow system that's now patent pending. And I have Robbie here, who's demonstrating our avid cyclist consumer, as well as our bottle. And he's going to show you the flow rate. So as you can see, it pours really quickly and very cleanly. And this is important because you don't want to drink air while you're riding your bike and breathing hard. It's also, we can squeeze it fast, or you can pour it faster than you can squeeze plastic, and it's super easy to clean. So I founded the business with my husband, Robbie. We are top performing endurance athletes. I was a professional cross-country ski racer, so a lot of people often tell me I really like to suffer. I'm a passionate cyclist, and we're serial entrepreneurs. This is our second business together. Previously, we ran a business that grossed $1 million annually, and we had both domestic and international employees. We also hired Mark Beard. He is our brand director. Previously, he was art director at Herman Miller, so he's behind all this beautiful photography. We worked with him for 10 years prior to this, so we're very lucky to have him on our team. We have a laser focus on our core audience, and that's avid cyclists, or someone who rides their bike 104 plus times per year. We're going to have very thoughtful expansion. We know that we want to hit them first and grow beyond them later. We know that there's opportunity in golf, running, yoga, and other sports, as well as international opportunities, but that's going to come later. We're based in Richmond, Vermont, and we love it here. We're going to be creating 13 full-time jobs by the end of 2028, and we're going to be injecting $2.6 million into the local economy annually by then. We're currently selling through direct-to-consumer, wholesale, and through collaboration bottles. We're 50% direct-to-consumer, and we love that because it has higher margins, and it's also a really good way for us to connect with our consumer. We're currently in 40-plus retail doors. All of them have come to us, including MEC, which is the REI of Canada. They're going to be putting us in 21 doors across the country there. We're targeting to be in 80 stores by the end of 2022, and we're going to get there through our new wholesale account manager we recently hired in May. People are really starting to talk about Bivo, and it's really fun for us to see. We've had some really great press. We have some successful grassroots marketing campaigns, and we have customer reviews coming in daily. We are featured in Cycling Tips magazine, which is one of the, and written up by an editor named James Wong. He's one of the toughest in the industry, and he told us that he drinks more water while drinking out of a Bivo. So that gave us a lot of clout among cyclists. We are also featured in Outside Magazine, Runner's World, and Golf Digest, so that shows us that when we're ready, we have legs beyond cycling. We've been participating in a lot of events. When people see and feel our bottle, they buy it. When they see that demo that Robbie did, they think it's really cool because it is, and they want our bottle. We have about a 65% conversion rate at events when we talk to people. We've also been seeding bottles to influencers and ambassadors. And we have some great brand partnerships. Through that, we have access to 1.2 million followers. We have 5 stars across all of our bottles, and we have some good feedback from some customers here. Sarah says that she's going to cherish her bottle forever. And Evan said that he was expecting a great bottle, and it's even better than that. What this shows is we have some great customer loyalty and a very authentic brand. And we're going to continue to focus on that brand and build it so we can continue to gain loyal cyclist consumers. We also know that innovation is important. I was previously on an innovation team, and I'm on 3 different patents, from manufacturing techniques to high heels to gravity flow water bottle systems. We're going to always focus on performance and listen to our consumers. We recently released a dirt cap, and we're coming out with an insulated bottle next week. All of those were asked for by our customers, and we also knew that they wanted it. So we're going to continue to focus on that and continue to grow. So let's talk some numbers. On day 1, we sold $6,800 worth of product. In year 1, we sold $252,000, and we're expecting to hit $617,000 this year. Also, we're going to be cash positive by Q1 of 2024. So I mentioned earlier we're in a friends and family round. Tonight, we're looking for some new friends, strategic friends who can help us grow. Thank you.
Bonus points. You came in low, below time. Well done. Excellent. All right, judges, I would imagine you have a few questions here. 3 minutes for you.
Talk a little bit about your merchandising strategy, just in terms of how, like, certainly at the events where you're more hands-on and it's clear that they can kind of see the difference, but in terms of merchandising at retail, like, how will people differentiate you? And then also just curious, like, if that gets tipped over, what happens to the flow? Is there a flow stop on that?
Yes, so it opens and closes just like a normal sport nozzle. So when you close it, it won't pour out. We launched with a 21-ounce bottle, the Bivo 1, and we did that with a single wall. And the reason for that was because we wanted to come out with something lighter weight, and the 21 ounce is the normal bike size. So then we came out with a larger version to account for a larger capacity need for water bottles.
Gotcha. And then just like merchandising at retail and also price point, how does it compare?
Yep, so we're about average with other metal water bottles. So our Bivo 1 is a $39 price point. And merchandising, we will be, we're just starting with some clinics at retail. We're just got into REI in Vermont here, and we're doing clinics. And then we also are building out point of sale displays.
Could you talk a little bit about where margins are at today from a gross margin perspective and where you see that trending over time?
Yeah, we are not going to share that publicly today. I'm happy to share that with you after. They're very healthy. We set them up to be good for both direct-to-consumer and wholesale.
Could you tell us a bit more about your longer-term ambition? You mentioned a few other market segments. Any other products, and how fast do you want to scale?
Yeah, we're looking into other markets for sure. We do want to really make sure we have good market penetration in the cycling space. We know that there's great opportunity in other performance sports, so we're going to go there. We do want to always come at it from a performance perspective because we know there are other metal water bottles out there. We're going to come at it from a different standpoint and gain market traction there.
Can you talk a little bit more about your history and your experience in business? Like, what was your last business and what category was that in?
Yeah, I was in manufacturing. So from a supply chain standpoint, we were very comfortable starting with manufacturing water bottles. We actually had a team on the ground in China, so we were able to visit a variety of factories and make sure that we asked the right questions and manage the supply chain accordingly.
Sorry, I can keep going. It's, you know, the consumer product space is really tricky. It's a really busy space. From a marketing standpoint, what are you anticipating their needs as you grow, and kind of how are you thinking about the talent needs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we are seeing a lot of success with that grassroots marketing campaign. We have not spent a single dollar on ad buys, which is great. We know that that's going to change a little bit. We're going to be doing some media buys as we grow, as well as hiring some people to help with like more, you know, across the country with grassroots marketing.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you.
She made me.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Thank you.
Karina, nice job. Thank you. If you'd like to see her bottles, and Robbie's too, and Robbie's shoes and helmet and cool outfit, they'll be in the Bivo tent. All kinds of bottles there. All right, let's move on. Next company. is called Evermind. Please welcome Claudia Zafert.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Claudia Zafert. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Evermind. We're a digital mental health platform. We help businesses to save money by providing their employees clinically proven and FDA authorized mental health treatment. I'm a psychologist myself, and I was the director of a clinic at Dartmouth for over 15 years. And I started Evermind to overcome treatment barriers like stigma and access in order to make evidence-based treatment private, convenient, and accessible to everyone. So depression affects over 300 million people worldwide, and it's a major cause of disability. And the cost to U.S. employers is enormous, over $326 billion annually in lost productivity and healthcare costs, and including the costs of high turnover. For Vermont employers, it's over $500 million annually. The typical small company with about 300 employees loses $2.5 million annually to depression. So businesses can save half these costs, but employees face many barriers to accessing help. So imagine two of your valued employees, David in tech support and Maria in finance. David hasn't seen himself since COVID. He's been lethargic and withdrawn, and he's not staying on top of his work. Maria is a single mom who's been absent a lot, and when she is in the office, she seems sick, and her work is suffering. David's not comfortable sharing his problems with a stranger, and he's worried about people finding out, and he'd rather just handle things on his own and push through. Our solution enables David to access help privately and without having to consult a live therapist. And as he manages his problems better, his mood improves and his productivity improves as well. Maria would like to get help, but where can she find the time? And she is worried that she's unable to afford it with her high deductible insurance. Even if she could find a therapist that's available, it wouldn't be accessible to her. Our solution enables Maria to access help on her schedule and with no out-of-pocket costs. So David and Maria, like 75% of people with depression, don't get help. And their employer bears the cost, about $6,400 annually per employee for lost productivity, and about $7,700 for excess healthcare costs. So our solution makes therapy private, convenient, and affordable for David and Maria and the millions like them who are not getting help. And the employer benefits by a 60% reduction in productivity loss and sees a reduction in healthcare costs of 30%. So how do we do this? Our AI technology that was developed for NASA to support astronauts in remote space actually recreates the warmth and support of a conversation with a live therapist, but in a scalable format. So it's a revolutionary approach to therapy. Without relying on a live therapist, we deliver an entire course of real evidence-based therapy and the clinical decision-making of an expert psychologist.
Like you're in the moderate range of depression. This tells me that you're in the right place. At this level of depression, problem-solving treatment is an excellent choice.
So David and Maria access help in a way that's private, convenient, and affordable. Our first product delivers problem-solving therapy, which is a form of cognitive behavioral therapy with robust research support. It's a proven technology built with $3 million in research funding from NASA, and Evermind has rebuilt it as a web mobile platform that's FDA authorized, HIPAA compliant, and backed by 5 clinical studies. So how are we different? Well, most solutions rely on live therapists, whether in person or through telehealth or chat. Live therapists are in short supply, and it's costly and inconvenient to see them, and the quality of treatment is inconsistent. Autonomous apps are kind of like reading a self-help book online, and they don't guide a user through interactive skills practice. Chatbots are similarly impersonal, but with Evermind, people work with a warm and supportive expert human therapist in digital form. They get interactive skills practice guided to their needs, and they're able to access therapy in a way that's private, convenient, and affordable. Our solution consistently delivers high-quality, personalized therapy without relying on a live therapist. So our business model is software as a service based on the number of employees in an organization. And the platform is currently operational throughout North America. Our first customer in Canada has recently renewed for the second time. And to enter the US market, we're focused on companies that take a progressive stance, that want to reduce costs and provide a supportive environment for their employees. So our target for 2022 is to reach 3,300 employees across 11 companies. And
time. I'm sorry, I didn't know a subtle way to do it.
It's okay.
Way to go, Claudia.
Just,
All right. I would imagine.
Thank you.
I'll take that from you.
Well, I guess I leave lots of room for questions.
Oh, well, we'll get in the questions right now. Judges,
Yeah.
what have you got for?
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about the relationship with NASA and if there's any ongoing payments or if they have any ownership over the technology going forward?
NASA does not have ownership of the technology. The technology was licensed by Dartmouth College and Beth Israel Medical Center.
So are there any ongoing license fees that you would have to pay to the current owners of the license agreement?
There are royalties to the licensing institutions, and yeah.
Okay. And given that the product is FDA approved, does that create any limitations on the flexibility to change the product over time or to introduce new features?
No.
Can you talk a bit about your sales and marketing and customer support approach for working with and supporting these large companies?
Well, we're new to the employer market, so we're just testing the waters and engaging with companies and starting with smaller companies. In terms of the support, so far we found that the customer support needs are really quite limited because the product is functioning really well. So we work with the companies and the organizations to get things off the ground and support them with sort of ongoing training and advice. Yeah.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about just the user experience. So I'm, someone who needs support, and I'm feeling some like not interest in sharing that with the world or my employer. Like, what helps me find this for the first time, and then what kind of retention, as far as the customers that you have today, what kind of retention rates have you seen and experiences, of the feedback that you've gotten?
Well, the way that our current customer is a healthcare system, and the way it's being offered is that everybody who's referred from the physician staff is being offered, and we're getting about 50% of referrals registering. So they're finding it because it's being offered directly to them. With companies, we expect the companies to use whatever in-house promotional methods that they use to communicate with employees to make it available.
And how long has it been in the market, like such that a company could use this?
A little over a year. Yeah.
Have customers, like, have the users, sorry, have the users, how long have users continued to stay on the platform? Like, have you seen a strong retention of an individual user?
Yeah, so the treatment is only 6 sessions. It mimics a 6-session treatment that's delivered in clinical practice, and we find that 50%, we see a 50% reduction in depression in people who complete all 6 sessions and 40% reduction in those who finish just 3 sessions.
Thank
Time.
you.
Well done, Claudia. We're covering a lot of ground here. Everybody's doing a great job. Okay, coming up next. This is a company called Sweet Sound Aquaculture. Please, everybody, welcome John Brawley.
Thanks, Tom. Hi, Aaron. How are you? Everybody hear me okay? Is this working? Okay, great. All right, here we go. Right now. Okay, again, I'm John Brawley. I own Sweet Sound Aquaculture. And the founder, and I don't have the clicker. I'm sorry. It doesn't click, but here we go. Okay, so what do? I gotta hurry up. I grow marine shrimp. I do it indoor in a recirculating system. And I do this up at Earthkeep Farm Common, which is a former dairy barn in Charlotte. You may have known Earthkeep used to be Nordic Farms on Route 7, just a few miles down the road. Why do I grow shrimp? People ask me, why shrimp? This is crazy. Because it's high in demand. It's a very popular seafood. Shrimp grow very quickly. They're rapid growers. It's a profitable business. And the revenues grow quickly. 2.5 cents for a shrimp from a hatchery within 60 to 90 days, 75 cents on average, even higher with value added. It's a healthful seafood industry to be in. It's efficient. It's sustainable. It tastes great. You're going to taste some tonight in some shrimp cakes. And people love it, and it is contributing to Vermont's food security as well. So my goal is to increase my current production of about 5,000 pounds per year to 15,000 pounds or more in the future. Okay, a little bit about myself. I have a PhD in marine ecology. My professional history has been applied research in coastal systems around the world, professional consulting, environmental consulting businesses. I've started one, actually. And in aquaculture, the last 20 years I've been in aquaculture. I started out almost 20 years ago in an oyster farm in Duxbury, Massachusetts. I developed a wholesale business around that, Sweet Sound Oysters, and took oysters regularly here to Vermont, actually, 5-6 years ago. I've also been on teams to design and build shellfish hatcheries in Duxbury, Massachusetts, and in Zanzibar out in Africa. So why is aquaculture important? Some of you may have seen graphs like this. Wild catch is the blue on the bottom. That's been either steady or declining in many cases, many areas around the world because of overexploitation, overfishing. And the world's population is growing. On top of that, there's demand, growing demand for seafood. It's a healthy alternative to other types of food. So you can see the green, that's increasing, that's aquaculture, that's farming fish, crustaceans, oysters, you name it. Okay, it's growing rapidly, it's going to keep growing. Why is shrimp aquaculture important? Well, the domestic shrimp production is not nearly enough to meet demand. Okay? Here's George eating shrimp. You know, George, the ocean called, they're running out of shrimp. And he's like, but this is not far from the truth. Okay, what is our demand? Well, George is consuming 1.2 billion pounds a year. That's the average U.S. consumption. 94% of that is imported from overseas, from Southeast Asia, from Latin America, and other places. That's a huge gap. Okay? Why are we concerned about that import of shrimp? There are environmental concerns. This is a mangrove estuary over here, pristine, being converted over to high-intensity shrimp and fish operations. Health concerns. If you were just to look at Google and look at imported shrimp, you'll see a lot of cases of bacterial contamination, and where they're grown is toxic. You'll hear about night soil. I'm not going to talk about that. That's coming up later, actually. Let's see. Oh, and so that's not good. So that's just a picture of George. That's the American public when they find out about these concerns. Okay, Vermont shrimp. These are my pillars. Fresh, local, accessible, efficient, sustainable. I'm building a circular bioeconomy at Earthkeep Farm Common. Eventually, feed's going to be produced on site, and the waste is going to be reused and sold as a garden fertilizer. Okay, quickly, the operation is, these are little shrimp here, about a week or two old. They come over night mail from Florida, from hatcheries, and they come into my system, the seawater system. They go spend about a month in a nursery operation, and then they're moved over to a larger series of 3,000-gallon pools, and I use something called the biofloc method to grow them. Eventually, after two months or so, growing out, they're harvested, they're beautiful, they look tasty. This is a creation of Chef Doug Payne at Hotel Vermont, preparing them with a habanero sauce and aioli. It's very popular. And I work with, I have trusted partnerships in Vermont. I started doing this type of work 6, 7, 8 years ago with my oyster business. A lot of those relationships continue on. These are some of my partners for sales and distribution. All right, here's what's happening. Over here on the left, the initial capital has supported the construction of this pilot scale, what I'd call 4,000 square foot operation. 5,000 square feet that I could move into pretty quickly, adjacent. And with the $500,000, the plan is to triple the current production, as I said earlier, really expand the regional distribution to Boston, New York. I'm getting inquiries all the time from all over New England and down in Boston, and significantly increased value-added product. I currently produce shrimp bisque. There's a gumbo coming out pretty soon. And there are other ways to increase the bottom line with value-added. Again, on-site feed production using organic Vermont-grown grains as the primary ingredient. And the waste from the shrimp, which is just basically a sludge, organic matter, that can be converted into a saleable product as well. And we'll also have some additional retail space in agritourism. So I think I'm good on time so far, which is amazing, which is great. So I'm just going to end it right there. Just thank you for your attention. Thanks very much.
Now look, just because you did well on time and you're giving away free stuff, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
Well done. All right, judges, do your thing.
Okay, looking forward to trying new shrimp. You mentioned you're trying to scale from 5,000 pounds to 15,000 pounds. Mm-hmm. What's preventing you from scaling to 1 million pounds?
Space. So the limitation would be the immediate plan for space at this facility. Part of the plan to expand beyond that would be transferring this to other spaces, either or building new space there or other areas where there might be some seafood deserts in New England, and transfer the process.
Could you tell us a little bit about the unit economics in terms of the space that you've dedicated to growing, sort of in terms of the cost to acquire the space or build out facilities, and then the ongoing revenue from production?
Yeah. So how about like the operating cost, like per pound?
I guess you're looking at a 5,000 square foot space.
Right.
So what are the economics for a 5,000 square foot space in terms of cost and revenue production?
Okay. So including the build out and creation of the whole thing.
Sure. The upfront investment costs and then.
Yeah. So that's about $275,000 to get that up and running, and the cost of production is basically $6 to $10 per pound of shrimp, and the average gross revenue per pound is close to 23, 24. Now, I have different ratios of value added to wholesale to direct to consumer retail, and playing with those ratios really affects the bottom line a lot. But value added is the way to go for the vast majority.
And I guess on that note, how do your costs compare to other shrimp farms, imported shrimp, or open water caught shrimp?
The costs.
Of in terms of your cost at sale. So given the inputs that go in, how does your cost structure compare to other competitors?
Right. Well, one thing is there aren't any competitors here, but the other shrimp farms that I've visited at my scale, I mean, it's all very consistent. It's all basically the same. But in terms of when you're buying conventional shrimp from overseas, their cost of production is very low because of cheap labor and just mass production. So this is more, it's a premium product. It's a little more boutique. It's more costly. So that, people, I'm selling it retail for $20 a pound right now, and there's been no real resistance on that.
I have so many questions, but I will be calm. So what's I just don't know off the top of my head, like if I were to go to the store and buy like conventional shrimp, what would that cost me? So what's the comparison?
Anywhere between like $6 a pound in frozen block to $25 a pound.
Got it. Okay, so it's pretty wide range. So really curious about, if I'm, as a consumer, I'm out there and I'm hearing a lot about farm-raised fit. Oh, God, my question's over already before I started.
All right,
Mr. Bad News is here.
Wah, wah.
I'll be around after, of course.
Well done, Jen. Thanks.
Okay.
Three minutes isn't that much, is it? It turns out. All right, our next company, we only have 2 left. Man, that's hard to believe. This one is called Little Pitaka. And please say hi to Akshata Nayak.
Okay, 5 years. The age by when biases about race, gender, and culture set in. And we still have more books with animals as the main characters than all the minorities combined. And boys are twice as likely to be heroes, while girls are twice as likely to use magic to solve problems, rather than their knowledge or abilities. This is against not only what kids need, but also against what parents, educators, and developmental specialists want. Publishers and toy companies are trying to step up their diversity game, but clearly they need to do better. Such a staggering discrepancy creates a huge sociocultural and business opportunity. Enter Little Pitaka. A pitaka is a firecracker, and I can't think of a better way to describe children, full of potential, needing just a spark of encouragement. Little Pitaka introduces young minds to sounds, ideas, and people that they normally wouldn't come across, so they can learn to celebrate differences and see how they make us more vibrant and innovative. We do this through a comprehensive portfolio of different media for different stages of development, all with a consistent brand personality and messaging with a bold purpose. At Little Pitaka, we offer products that help kids look beyond stereotypes. Expectations are based on race, gender, social status, body type, and so much more. It is time to transcend imaginary boundaries. We want to make STEAM subjects more inclusive. When you see kids that look like you or someone you know participate in these activities, it instantly makes those scenes more believable. We want to use foods, languages, and traditions as stepping stones to learn about new cultures. Essentially, we want to create a Little Pitaka universe full of diverse people who aren't just secondary characters in someone else's story. Instead, they each take turns to tell their own story in their own voices. Millennial parents that care about diversity, equity, and inclusion are our key customers, and we believe we can reach them and our other customers through a few different channels. They're already online, and so the digital marketing would be the most effective way to grab their attention, direct them to websites for sales as we expand our reach into stores that they like to support. Indie bookstores, gift stores, museum stores, big box stores, and by partnering with preschools, daycares, and elementary schools. In the last couple of years, the children's publishing industry has seen a 30% spike in sales on books about diversity, and the toy industry has seen a 13% spike. This growth is expected to continue as products promoting inclusion and cultural understanding are among their top trends going into the future. As a quick way of how we can grow our audience and direct sales, there are approximately 7 million households that fit our key customer demographic. In the first year, through targeted digital marketing and PR, we're looking to grab a small but significant portion of them and direct them to our website. If even just a few thousand buy one set of affirmation cards or one different fits puzzle, that is $75,000 in revenue, which we expect will be about 35% of our overall sales. And we're confident we can do this because Little Pataka launched last year with a bang. We have now completed 2 successful Kickstarter campaigns and received close to $40,000 in pre-orders. We won a national level pitch competition and launched a set of language learning books last year. And as we speak, our puzzles and affirmation cards are in production, ready for a fall launch. And along the way, we've received some great media coverage and customer feedback. Of course, no one can do this alone. Anushri and Yogita combine powerful stories with our purpose for the incredible designs that you see here. Carolyn helps us with strategy, and a crack PR team at Juniper is helping this small new brand find its reach. We have academics and leaders of marginalized communities on board to make sure we boost authentic representation both behind the scenes and in our products. Look at this list of industry leaders who've joined us. The first African-American woman founder of a billion-dollar company, the CTO of one of the largest publishing groups in the world, an award-winning brand director, president of the New England Independent Booksellers Association, and a commercialization expert. They all have one thing in common. They believe that Little Pataka has enormous potential, and they're willing to bring their contacts and know-how to help us achieve that. To reach our big goals now, we need to grow. And for that, Little Pataka is looking to raise $650,000. This will help us hire locally for admin staff, wholesale manager, authors, concept developers. Give all of these people great reasons to stay here in Vermont and grow a team hungry for growth at Little Pataka. This hiring will also help us develop and expand our product line, which means better merchandising at stores, more offerings on the websites, making us more attractive to distributors and increasing our sales nationally. We can put more money into our marketing budget, bring on influencers and ambassadors, build a community which is loyal and will help amplify our brand for us. Hire sales staff across coasts, exhibit at trade shows, invest in a national expansion, work with big box stores. And of course, our big goal would be to pursue licensing deals across CPG and media products. Give every kid a character that they can resonate with and fully immerse themselves in the Little Pataka universe. My name is Akshita Naik, and I'm the founder of Little Pataka. I am adamant that Little Pataka finds its headquarters right here in Vermont, a small state, a rural state repeatedly called the second whitest state in the country. I want to show that a brand with a Hindi word in its name, looking to do what Little Pataka wants to do, run by a woman that looks like me, can find deep roots here. We have big problems to solve, and I know Little Pataka can move us in the right direction, and that is a powerful story. This isn't just an incredible business, this is a movement, so I invite you all to Little Pataka as we spark curiosity, celebrate differences, and shatter stereotypes. Thank you.
Akshata, nice job.
Thank you.
Wow. Judges.
I'll go first since I got cut off. I love it. It's great. Lots of ideas. But can you talk a little bit more? Direct to consumer is really hard, and
Yes.
it's a lot of humans to try to
Yes.
reach. It was a small team. Can you talk a little bit more about who some of your early adopters are, and kind of what those wedges are, and how you're going after direct?
Yeah. For us, mostly it's been the Kickstarter campaigns were really good examples of how well this can do. And it has been mostly, like we talked about, urban and suburban parents who were interested in this kind of stuff. What we noticed in our Kickstarter campaigns was that the first one, we raised over 160% of what we wanted to, which blew our mind, because we launched the brand with the campaign. It wasn't that the brand existed and we launched, products. So with that whole launch, we still got really good traction. And for our campaign, which just ended like a couple of months ago, we ended up having about $200 as our average pledge, and the usual Kickstarter pledge is $25. And something we noticed was parents and others were buying it to donate it to schools, libraries, and other places. So that meant that people are willing to buy this stuff to even spread the word for us. So these are all very good things when it comes to like any type of marketing strategy we have, and especially if we're looking for influencers and ambassadors, these types of things will definitely affect how we make those decisions. Thank you.
On the direct-to-consumer side, have you been able to capture any information on repeat purchases out of existing customers, just to get a sense of, how much legs the characters have and the demand from children for more?
Yeah, absolutely. So far we have, and I have my dolls out there, we've been able to put one character out in the 2 books that we've done. And we certainly have more in mind, especially now with the puzzles and the affirmation cards. We've created like 20 different characters. And so that's really brought a lot of different ones on board, which is very exciting to see which ones work and which ones don't. Since we are new enough, we can do that. In terms of repeat customers, again, I'll go back to the Kickstarter campaign because I would say about 25% of the people who supported us the first time around came back for the second one and brought friends. So that definitely helped. For the second Kickstarter campaign, I was really amazed, given that it's such a small team, the type of traction we got online on social media, all the Instagram lives that we did, and then the advisors who joined us around the same time. So those were definitely very encouraging. Yeah.
Quick question on revenue growth.
Yeah.
You showed getting to 1 or 2 million, which is relatively slow compared to some of the other ones. Have you thought about, scaling to 10 or 20 million in that time period?
Yeah, this is what we've done. It's conservative estimates, but realistic ones that we know we can meet based on the milestones that we've set up for ourselves. And of course, once licensing comes into play, that kind of blows the whole thing open. But for now, we know that based on what sales we've had, looking at consistent growth and steady growth, that these are numbers that we can meet. Hey, if somebody proves me wrong, I'll be happy.
You're done.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Nice job.
Yeah.
All right, last but certainly not least, this is a company called Wasted. If you've been out back, you might know why that is, but you're about to learn a whole lot more. Please welcome Brophy Tyree.
Hey everyone, I'm Brophy and I'm here today to tell you about how we're transforming portable sanitation to make it better for the user and better for the planet. So our company started about 4 years ago when me and my best friend started a nonprofit called Do Good Shit. And the aspiration of that nonprofit was to implement sustainable waste management solutions in alpine recreation areas that we love to play in. Being in this space, we learned more about poo and pee than we ever cared to know. Namely, that humans are the only mammals that intentionally mix their pee and poo in the same place. So you walk a dog, it'll pee over here and poop over there. And that's because nature's designed to process our waste streams separately. So in the backcountry, combined waste fills up these pits, gets washed out into local watersheds, and it's toxic to the ecosystem. In the front country, we bring it to wastewater treatment facilities. Formatting got a little messed up here on the export. But these facilities are operating under strain and above capacity, offloading a bunch of greenhouse gases and hundreds of thousands of tons of nutrients into the ocean and into Lake Champlain, which cause these harmful algae blooms that cause marine ecosystems to fall apart. But it doesn't need to be this way. Our waste is actually valuable and packed with all the nutrients we need to grow crops, so nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. If we can keep our waste streams separately, we can actually transform our pee into NPK fertilizers that are chemically the same as the fertilizers that farmers are currently dropping on their farms. So we started Wasted with the vision of a closed-loop sanitation paradigm where we are collecting all of the human waste in our cities and transforming it into fertilizer to support local agriculture. And that vision starts in portable sanitation. So we chose portable sanitation because the porta potty is the worst user experience of any product in the world. It's embedded into a heavily antiquated and unsustainable servicing operation. The market is 90% unconsolidated with regional distributors, and it's disconnected from sewers, meaning we can rapidly deploy cutting-edge wastewater treatment technologies in a way that doesn't require expensive retrofits of piping or infrastructure. So we designed and patented a toilet system that separates solid and liquid waste to the drop point, embedded it into a reimagined portable toilet that collapses down for 3 times more efficient transport and storage. By separating the waste, it makes a better user experience, and you're not looking into the belly of the beast as you are in a porta potty. So we collect that separated waste and bring it back to the wasted hub, where we transform our pee into NPK fertilizers and poo into Class A biosolids and energy, while recovering 95% of water. Just by doing the processing ourselves, we're negating the disposal fees up to 20% of revenue that current operators are paying at wastewater treatment facilities and landfills. So we're fundamentally changing the margin profile of the underlying business model before we start selling fertilizer. So to talk about unit economics, our system costs $1,200 to manufacture. We rent it for $200 per 28-day billing cycle. We're paying off that hardware in 6 to 7 months when you factor in all costs. And after processing, we're operating at 73% gross margins versus the 55% gross margins that current operators are paying. So our pilot last year was in Brattleboro, Vermont, in collaboration with the Rich Earth Institute, who's been processing pee into fertilizer for the last 10 years, dropping it on farms, Vermonters showing up with gallon jugs of their own pee, saying, here you go, it's the most grassroots Vermont thing you've ever seen. And we're inspired by the vision, the technology worked, and did a lot of customer development to figure out where we're going to go next. So we decided to anchor in the construction segment. Within a few weeks of making that decision, we had pilots with the 4 biggest construction companies in Boston with national reach. That's 59% of the porta potty market. And this summer, at the end of the summer, we're going to market in Burlington. And this is really our proof of concept, our home base, our headquarters, where we're going to be showing the world what's possible, that our waste is valuable, doesn't need to be dumped in our oceans, and building out the blueprint that can be exported to the rest of the world while keeping the team here, innovation here, R&D here, and continuing to push the cutting edge of circular sanitation. But porta potties are only the beginning. The technology that we're developing in the portable segment has applications far beyond the blue box. So our aspiration is to take this circular sanitation technology and one day integrate it into the built environment, changing every building into a fertilizer factory for local agriculture. How big's the market? Everyone poops and everyone eats. So globally, the sanitation market is $280 billion. Global portables is $17 billion, and our target market is the $2.1 billion US portables market. Additionally, $13 billion is the value of the nutrients found in urban wastewater that could be transformed into fertilizer. Just right back, if we map out our growth 7 years and capture 5% of the porta potty market, we would be generating $165 million in annual revenue, $93 million in EBITDA, to give you a sense of what that looks like. But it's not all about money. If we could convert a community from traditional wastewater treatment to urine diversion and nutrient recovery, we'd save between 40 and 65% in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, energy use, water use, and nutrient runoff. This is the team. We've got more than 10 years of combined toilet experience, a few startups under our belt, and voraciously passionate about poop puns. And we're raising a $4 to $6 million seed round. Since Launch VT started, we've raised 3.7 of that, and are in the final stages of allocations, trying to save some aside for Vermont investors if there is interest, as we are a Vermont-based company. But we want to build this with Vermont. So if any of you want a toilet, want to collaborate in any way, feel free to reach out. If you see one of our toilets, step inside and pee the change you want to see in the world.
Trophy, nice. I don't know if we have time for questions from you guys. I wanted to hear some poop puns.
Join the bowel movement.
Judges?
Yeah. Okay. This is great. Love it. A couple questions. I would love to hear a little bit more about offtake and where that goes. Who the purchasers of the product, and I'd also love to hear about any regulatory risks that are potentially problematic.
Yeah, totally. So the product that we're making on the urine side in Burlington is magnesium ammonium phosphate. We're using a Struvite reactor that's been developed and shown to work at scale in South Africa, and bring that over here. And so in Burlington, we're really focusing on the urine side of things and working with the local wastewater treatment facility on the solids, just to de-risk individual components of the business. And so we'll be running through chemical composition tests on the fertilizer. It's worth noting on this question that when you map out to $164 million in revenue, 8 million of that on a good day is fertilizer sales. And so that's less than 4%. So we're looking at really an equipment servicing and rentals company with fertilizer sales from a revenue perspective as a cherry on top. And so we can reliably price below market, finding one offtake partner and selling magnesium ammonium phosphate as feedstock for their fertilizer production, rather than making a commercial brand ourselves. I could also get into regulatory. Yeah, we can talk later. Yeah.
What about the optics? Like, I mean, I've seen it's a big transition for people to feel like putting on both sides, integrating that into something that's going to be reconnected with the human, being in any way is tricky from an optics standpoint. Any experience there?
Yeah, so I mean, on one level, we're not selling poop and pee to people or to consumers. We're selling, pure salt-based magnesium ammonium phosphate to fertilizer distributors. And so no one needs to make the decision to buy urine. Farmers are currently putting manure on their crops and those things. That being said, a lot of this is around story, and it's about reframing the way that we think about our waste, not as waste, but as something valuable. And that's a much deeper thing than just that. It's really reframing how we relate to nature as not separate, producing this waste that needs to be disposed of, but we're part of this natural cycle, this nutrient cycle of nutrients passing through us and back to Earth. And so we see a beautiful opportunity in storytelling, in brand, and that's really where our founding team comes from, is Expedition Media with purpose, to rethink the way that we relate to what's coming out of us. And that's a beautiful opportunity and a challenge. Yeah.
Can I ask, what do you think could go wrong? What's keeping you guys up at night?
Execution risk, I'd say. So it's an operationally complex business, a lot of moving parts. The way that we're de-risking that is by looking at Burlington as a contained experiment. So industry benchmarks say 200 units per worker per truck. We can deploy 200 units, see the amount of waste being aggregated, what it's like to service that, how much fertilizer is being produced, and then look at Boston and scale modularly how many Burlingtons are there in a Boston.
Time.
Be very data-driven about our scale up.
Nice job, Brophy. All right, who saw this company coming? No. That is something. Those are the presentations from the companies. What do you guys think? Yeah. Nice job. So here's where we're at right now. We're going to ask everybody who's here to please vote, because we're going to have your vote count as the $5,000 gift. And, of course, the judges will put their heads together for the $15,000 prize that is going to come up. So what you're going to want to do is go over to the voting machine, and Tom over there is going to give you a token. A token, and you will be able to drop that in the slot that represents the company you'd like to vote for. So if you would do that relatively soon, because we'd like to get that done in 15 minutes so we can then count them and be back here in about a half an hour. And for what it's worth, we're ahead of schedule. I've never seen that before. Yeah, here's Lauren.
Thank you. We could probably, given the fact that we are so efficient here, if we need an extra 5 minutes for voting, I think that's cool too. But let's hustle over. Get your vote in. Check out all of the awesome prototypes. They're located over there. For those of you who are hungry, we have Vermont shrimp being served up. Get your shrimp cake. Check out Wasted's Porta Potty. We will see you in 30 minutes. Everyone, I hope you're enjoying the time, networking and checking out our awesome, awesome demos. This is a 3-minute warning to finish your voting. 3 minutes to get the last of those votes in over by the Bivo tent. I hope you check it out. And we will be back to our seats soon.
Hey, everybody, can you hear me? I know you don't want to, but I'm going to give you a 5-minute warning right now, okay? We're going to get to the finals of this thing, 5 minutes. 5-minute warning, everybody. Was there a warning?
Good evening again. I am so glad that you are enjoying our refreshments and having a drink and saying hello to all of our friends here tonight. But the time is now. We are going to be announcing our winners this evening, so come and join us back in the Reef. Hello, Tom Messner. Are you ready for the fun and games? So, really be fun and games? I guess this is when you can say it's like pass go and collect $200. Or in this case, it's like pass go and get $5 grand or 15 grand.
Let's get these people in here.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, time to do this. Come on back in, please. Come on, stop having fun and get back in here. Thanks for coming back, most of you. Everybody have a chance to vote, I hope? Okay, good.
The checks are over there. Oh, and one last thing too, it's like.
There was no funny business over at the voting machine, was there?
Now.
I told you not to get Dominion. All right, go ahead.
They're from Venezuela. Everybody knows that. Okay? Hugo Chavez was here. I let him out of the building. All right. How's everyone doing? Nice. All right. Welcome back. This is super exciting. This is the time that we've all been waiting for. But very quickly, another announcement and thanks goes out to our incredible coaches. So I hope you enjoyed all of our teams tonight. And there is a team of people behind our teams who have made this all possible. So, Bob Phillips, thank you for coaching Slogan. You were amazing. Dave Schmidt with Taco. So thankful for you to be with us. Neil Bainton, thank you for working with Bivo. Mylalai Goldman, your work with Evermind was incredible. Arian, oh boy, Arian, Taboomery. I hope I got that right. Did I get that right, John? Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you for working with John. I hope you guys enjoyed the shrimp cakes. And Nikki Miko, thank you for your incredible work with Little Pitaka. The teams really benefited from you and getting to know them over the past 2 months and seeing the amazing value that you built with them was truly a privilege. So thank you so much. So here's the first part of the fun. Tom Torty, CEO of the Lake Champlain Opportunity Fund, will be announcing the Audience Choice Award. You have no idea who it is because it is in an envelope and we don't do rigged elections here at Launch VT.
All right.
After you.
Thank you. Oh, well, I'll just bend over. I am really excited to announce this award. The person who wins the Audience Choice Award is the person, the company that has captured the spirit, the heart, and minds of the folks who are here. That means the winner has a great idea, a great concept. It's something that people really want to get behind. But it also means that the person who did the presentation has that kind of personality that engages with people, that makes people want to like them, that makes people want to invest with them. And if you're going to be an entrepreneur, and if you're going to start a successful business, if you're going to grow it, then you need to be able to connect with people and you need to be able to sell your idea and sell your concept. So to me, it's the most exciting award because it's the award that goes to the company and the person that you all think has the best chance of really making it in this world. So that's less than 3 minutes, and as people who know me know, usually I take 3 and go for 30. So I'm done, and now I'm going to announce the winner. And this year's winner of the Audience Choice Award is Little Pitaka.
Next victim. So this evening, the president of the Lake Champlain Chamber was going to be here and announce the Lake Champlain Chamber Award, which is our grand prize. Unfortunately, Kathy Davis, who is our president, had a visit from the COVID fairy recently, who also visited all of her family. So, unfortunately, she's not here. She's somewhere on the interwebs watching, I hope. So I'm going to read a little bit of her words to you guys. She would like me to share with you. So, imagine I'm her. This is our 10th Launch VT cohort. I can say the Chamber had no idea what we were starting back in 2013, but we knew that supporting entrepreneurs and startups was important to growing the kind of economic opportunities we wanted to see in Vermont. Like our cohorts, we've learned and evolved and responded to what was needed, and we've been blown away by the results. We've enjoyed the support We've enjoyed the support of so many along the way. I want to say special thanks to all of the mentors and coaches who have shared their expertise with our cohorts over the years, and partners that devote time and funds to making Launch VT possible. Extra thanks to the Vermont Department of Economic Development and People's United, a division of M&T Bank, supporters that understood the vision from day one. Launch VT happens because people believe in it, and that includes the staff that have led this work for us over the years, starting with Emily Piper McMahon, Katie Taylor, John Antonucci, and now Lauren, which is weird to talk about myself in the third person, so me. Each of those individuals have put their heart and soul into Launch VT and made it what it is today. Thank you all, from Kathy Davis. So, without further ado, Kathy says she knows I can't wait to give away the big check, so true. So I will close by saying that Lake Champlain Chamber's mission is to create economic opportunity for all Vermonters, and Launch VT is one of the ways that we do that. I invite you to learn more about what we do, and thank you for being here to support the program in this amazing cohort. Right, round of applause again for our cohort. And personally, I would like to make a special thank you to my colleagues who have now become friends at the Lakefront Champlain Chamber, who I started working with just 4 or 5 months ago. Aaron, Amelia, Tom, Jeff, for those who couldn't even make it, Austin, Alex, I know I'm forgetting someone, Michael, Mary, Kathy, Tom, whoever didn't make it into that list, I'm really sorry, but I really care about you. Thank you all so much for being the team behind me and tonight. You've been such a warm welcome, and I truly, truly couldn't have done this without you, so thank you. Now, without further ado, the big part. Ta-da. Thank you. I would have read the wrong one, and that would have been weird. Okay, I'll say it again. Without further ado, and I would just like to say that the first 2 words on this card from the judges are hard decision. So, and I have to say, you guys deliberated for a while. Like, I almost pulled you out of there like I did with some of the cohort teams, so well done. Okay, hold your breath. It is wasted.
Big check. I've always wanted a big check.
Hey, you guys did great.
Congratulations, that's so great. Dude,
Big check.
what a trip. It's like golf, but it's not. Congratulations. Hey.
Congrats, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we just get in front? Let's get in front of the podium.
All right, awesome. We're getting another photo op in? Cool. I'm going to bomb it.
You're photo bombing them.
I am, shamelessly. Congrats to everyone here. And I also want to say another shout out for everyone in this cohort, and I really mean this. You guys have been phenomenal. First of all, I'm gonna really miss you. It's been 2 months of drinking by the fire hose, and you were amazing. And I mean that. I'm gonna miss you, and I hope you remember that I am always behind you. So as soon as you're out in the big wide world beyond Launch VT, I hope you always consider me a resource. Thank you all. You guys were not just amazing, but so advanced that half the time I don't know if I taught you anything, but you look like you were taking it in, so thank you for that. Everyone, thanks for coming tonight. Enjoy what we have left at the bar. Get to mingle, network while you can. Get tuned up and excited for next year, for 2023. And I haven't had a drink yet, so I'm going first. Just kidding. Thank you, everyone.